Hey guys, welcome back to Dev Motion, and today we have a review that's a bit overdue, but it's the McFarlane Collector Edition of Captain Boomerang. Yeah, so I finally have another Flash villain to add to my collection. Let's open this bad boy up. Snip! Snip! And here we have Captain Boomerang out of the packaging, and this guy looks badass. He's a great figure. This is probably McFarlane's best work. This is my favorite McFarlane figure I own. And before we get into the details of why this figure is so good, let's take a quick look at the accessories he comes with. And here are all of Boomerang's accessories laid out. So let's start with the boring stuff first. So since this is a collector's edition action figure, we have this card holding base, which is incredibly stupid to include. It is so unnecessary. I'd rather them give me an extra boomerang than this. I don't know why we needed this. This was kind of just a waste of plastic, to be honest. But what it does hold is this card. So this is the back of the card where it gives you a data file, as every McFarlane card does, and every McFarlane figure includes. So, real name, George Digger Harkness. George Digger Harkness is a mercenary and killer with aptitude for boomerangs and other projectiles. Antagonistic and often annoying to those around him, he has fought the Flash, and since his incarceration has become a member of Task Force X, aka the Suicide Squad. Yeah, but super cool art on the card. This was also on the back of the packaging. And you wouldn't have Captain Boomerangs without his boomerangs. So let's take a closer look at these boomerangs. Yeah, look at that. So these boomerangs have a little bit of a notch into them, so he could actually hold them. But yeah, these are the boomerangs. So there's two of them included, and you could probably just put them into his back right here, because he doesn't have a place to actually hold them. Hold on. Yeah, just into his back, like so. Or what I would do is put them into his side right here. So that's the only way he could hold them. Or if you want, you could put them into the belt on his butt. Let's take a closer look at the hands that come included with the boomerang. So he has these open throwing hands, almost like throwing a ninja star hand right here. It's like palm. But they look very realistic. They look like hands that would be captured right after someone throws a boomerang or a ninja star. But they look pretty cool, and they give him some really great poses when you put them on him. And obviously he has a pair of them. He also comes with trigger hands. So these are to hold the boomerangs, and they would work like so. So you could just put them right in, and this is what they would look like. Yeah, they definitely work, and they look pretty good. I usually don't like the McFarlane trigger hands because they're on everything, but they work for boomerang. Then we also have the punch hand, the punch right here, the close-fisted, but they look good. And they almost have like this shiny face on the knuckles, which is interesting. You can't really capture on, oh, maybe there we go. You can see how it reflects light. It's a bit reflective. There's obviously, that's also a pair, but what we're all here for are the cloth good accessories. So he comes with a scarf, just a, just normal fabric attached, wrapped. It's just normal fabric put together. Nothing fancy. They don't have the boomerang print on his scarf as he does in the comics. or he used to in the comics. And he also has this trench coat. Neither of these things had wires on them. I might put wires on them, to be honest, just because I think you'd get into some really cool poses with the trench coat if it had a wire in it, just like have it flowing as he's throwing a boomerang. But this is what the inside of the coat looks like. It's super easy to put on him. It's really not that hard. Let me just show it to you real quick. Just put his hand in the back. And then put this hand right here. Yeah, and he's in it in almost like 2 seconds. It's really not that hard to put on him. But yeah, that's what he looks like. We also get this DC base plate or stand that is usually included with every single DC figure. It's a bit scratched up, you can see right there. And it has this metallic DC logo on it, but mine is a bit blurry for some reason. I don't think they printed it correctly, if you can see that. Let me just hold it still. Yeah, I can almost see it's like double printed on there. Now that we're done looking at the accessories, let's take a look at the actual figure. Yeah, so this guy comes with a lot of accessories, some pretty great and some not that great, or just literally useless. But let's take a closer look at the figure, let's take a look at his articulation, and dissect why he is such a great figure. Here is Captain Boomerang. So let's take a look at his head sculpt a little bit first. You can see he's got a grinning face right there, almost like a half smirk. It's painted pretty well. I do have a few paint splotches right up there, but you can't really see that. And then he's got his mutton chops. Although on the comic card he doesn't really have his mutton chops, which is, I don't know, interesting. He wears this blue sweater thing, and he has this sculpted, it's an extra piece, but it's sculpted, this holder for his boomerangs. And then he also has this little belt pouch utility thing. You can't attach the boomerangs here or anything. Then you also have sculpted onto the actual pants, you have just this pouch, and you also have another pouch right there. And yeah, his pants are pretty cool. They look like pants. And you also have these boots right there. His beanie also has the boomerang on it. See, the sculpt for the beanie is really good. It actually looks like a beanie. So he also got these stitching sculpt right here on the arms. And you can also see, like, since he's wearing a sweater, he has a collar sculpted. They really went into the detail. He also has a lot of, sweater wrinkles all over his torso. Yeah, that's the back of the figure. But yeah, let's take a closer look at the articulation of the figure. So this figure has standard McFarlane type articulation. So, head looks up, not at all actually. Don't know why. Might have to mod that up, to be honest. Heat it up, cut out some plastic on the back. But yeah, I mean, it's not great. It's not even his hair. I don't know why he doesn't look up much. So he can't look up without using his torso to help him out. He can look down quite a bit. He can look down all the way. And then he has swivel, right, because it's a ball joint. And then for his arms, he has butterfly joints. They don't do much. Well, actually they get him a little bit of swivel there. But his shoulder is on a ball joint, so 360 rotation, and then side to side. And then he also has a bicep swivel, 360. He has double jointed elbows. His wrist is also on a ball peg, and it can go side to side and up and down. And then for his torso itself, he can crunch down this far, crunch up this far. You can take him farther, but it starts to show the gap in between, so it's up to you. But he crunches down, not much, looks up far more. I think it's restrictive because of the pouch, the satchel of boomerangs here. And then he also has one at the waist, 360 right here. I can also help him look up a little bit, so that's the most range of motion you can get for looking up, and not much down because of the jeans. And then moving on to the legs, he can split that much. Pretty good, decent range of motion. He can kick up this much, kick back a little bit more, but for this leg it's a bit different because he has the belt limiting his articulation. So for kicking up, it would be this much, not much at all. And then for kicking back, it's much more, even more than the other leg. And then he has double jointed knees, you can go back that much. No boot cut. I thought he would have a boot cut because the way this has been sculpted, it almost makes it look like it has a boot cut because it's two different plastics stuck together. Maybe I'll give him one. I'm thinking about modding it anyways. And then he has 360 since it's his foot is on a ball joint, 360 that way. Up this much, down this much, and then side to side swivel. And then he also has his toe joint, McFarlane toe joint. This is what Boomerang looks with his coat on. And yeah, his articulation is limited because of the coat. So, you know, mostly the arms, but crunching down a little bit is limited. Crunching up, not so much. But it's, you know, it's really the joints. He can still get his double joint pretty well, but, you know, it's very limited. Here is what Boomerang looks like with all of his clothing on. So, you know, he's got his scarf, and he's got his trench coat on, his coat on, and yeah, he looks super cool. The coat is a bit puffy, but you know, it's cloth good. It's nice to have, and yeah, he looks great. But this figure's articulation is really well done, and it's also hidden so well. Like, I can't believe this is an action figure. Like, it's so well done. I am probably gonna mod this a little bit, maybe paint it so it looks, you know, less comic-y, so it can fit in with my other DC figures, which are mostly movies and some comic books, but it's mostly movies or very realistic looking comic book figures. But I love this figure. This figure is so fun to play around with, putting it in poses with its jacket. It's just so much fun. But let's do some size comparisons, and first up, we'll do Flash. So here he is compared to the CW Flash. This is the only McFarlane Flash I have, so yeah. So here's what he looks like compared to the Flash. There is a noticeable size difference where, you know, Boomerang comes up to just about his nose and forehead. So, but you know, I like him like that. I like him being a bit shorter than the Flash. So this Boomerang looks way closer to, not the Digger Harkness version of Boomerang on the Flash, but the one that appeared in Season 9. So you could definitely use him as a stand-in for a CW Flash villain. Here is Boomerang compared to Arrow, and obviously in the Arrow TV show, Boomerang is a Green Arrow villain and not a Flash villain. So here he is compared to Arrow. There is, again, a size difference where Green Arrow is a bit taller than him, pretty close in height, and Boomerang comes up to right about his mask and eyes. But again, he is on a stand, so, you know, subtract like a few centimeters from that. But yeah, so that is what they look like together. Here is a size comparison of two Boomerangs. So here is the DC Multiverse, and here is the Mattel Suicide Squad Boomerang. So you can see he is short, but this one comes up to only about 7 inches, the DC Multiverse, and this one's probably exactly 6 or just below 6 inches. That's what they look like, and it's just crazy how cheap this one looks. And I actually paid way less for the DC Multiverse. I paid $2 and some odd cents because I had a Best Buy I got it from Best Buy. It was on clearance, and I had like a $10 voucher or something. I don't know. And then this one I paid like $5 from like Five Below. It's crazy how much better the McFarlane one is. Yeah, so that was the McFarlane DC Multiverse Captain Boomerang. And he was a great figure. I loved posing him around, and he's really the best McFarlane figure I've ever owned. So that was it for today's video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. DevMotion out.